You'll stay in the stream? What now? I'll stay in the stream. DUI. Oh, what the? I got hairs. I'm growing sprouting hairs. All right, chat. I'm back. Since last ad, it's been an hour. Dang. That is how time flies. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
hello.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay.
It's a real fun thing when the stream just ends because of
Crapped
internet.
out.
Yeah. Often makes me think about, interesting timing.
What were we talking about?
Let's see. Can you hear me? Yes. Oh, that my door opening up freaked me out. My cat walked in. Oh, that freaked me out. I knew he'd back. I had faith. Faith! I'm currently watching Wendigoon's video on Faith, the Unholy Trinity.
I gotta finish the game.
I'm probably not. I kind of want to play it now. Let's see the cat. I can't show you the cat. Well, I can try.
Hi, kitty.
All right, chat. That's the cat. She did not like your burp.
Oh, I didn't know she could hear it.
No, she can't. But she walked away as soon as you burped.
Oh.
So that's my cat that's still alive. The other one, Dax is dead.
Rest in peace, Dax.
Can you not pick? Okay. So the unfortunate thing is this cat, Tamriel, does. Oh, she's on my desk though. But the unfortunate thing is this one does not like being picked up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I could pick her up for like 5 seconds.
They don't want anything past that.
Yeah. But yeah, so we were talking about I'm glad you are better than dog people. That is my hot take. I prefer cat people because we don't have to take care of the animal. The animal takes care of it mostly by itself.
Yep.
Aw, your cat's nice. My old cat would do that. She's buried in the yard now. Okay, that's a little dark. I'm sorry. I'm still very passive aggressive about Dax dying. I did make an hour-long video about it. Oh, okay, but actual serious topics. What were we talking about? We were talking about. Was I talking about sin? No,
Most likely.
we were past that. Hold up,
Where?
hold up. I'm gonna pull a big brain move. I'm gonna watch the end of my stream. Oh, and yes, because I have been building. I've been addicted to porn since I was 14. Oh, that's right. I was talking about my relationship with Jesus and how I think it's been affected because of the porn. All right, so going back to that topic. The what I was getting at and what I'll just quickly surmise is that in having built relationships with the screen, with my hand, with myself, and that sort of pleasure that comes with porn, it was kind of a hit to the ego that, oh no, trying to build a relationship with Jesus, with God, when you don't actually know how to build a relationship with people realistically. Like,
Hmm.
I have relationships, like, obviously, you people in chat, I have different aspects of relationships with each and every one of you in chat, Was now, Abyss, anyone else that's watching. Brandon is my friend, and obviously, welcome back. And obviously, I have friends and family. But can you build a good like relationship if you are not necessarily cued in on what it is to have a relationship? And I've kind of been just going off the coattails of meeting people, getting to know them, spending time with them. And I am still very much stuck in the the transactional aspect of it, the, in a sense, hookup culture, the hookup relationship. You hook up with
Yeah,
someone and then you leave them. That's
it's so it's so easy and so accessible. What I was saying earlier is that, all addictions, obviously all addictions are
Oh, Abyss
terrible. I
asked that
feel bad
question
for
about
them.
addictions too. Gotta answer that too.
It's 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 so easy to become addicted to porn. For one, it's become so accepted that it's cool. There's um, you know, not nearly, you don't hear about, I mean, maybe you do, but you don't. I've never heard of the AA for porn addiction, or the rehab for porn
You
addiction.
haven't?
Obviously, there's no. I mean, is there
Mm-hmm.
that I'm unaware of?
Yep.
I
There,
mean, I'm certain it exists, but I'm just saying like
the
been
the
very small.
idea of AA for porn does not exist. It's because AA has transcended what it originally was.
Yeah,
Because AA originally was originally started because of alcoholism, and then it got to a point where, oh, this is working, let's do it and take it to a wider scale. That same system exists for porn, but it is much more of based off of a
rehab.
church community or
Got
a group
all I'm
coming
trying to
together that
say.
they know they have that commonality in place, much the same way how AA first started.
Gotcha. Um, all I was saying is that it's so accessible,
Hmm.
um, and it's so easy. Not trying to diminish anyone's addiction, but you know, you have to pay for alcohol. Um, it takes
Yo, what
time to
up,
get
dude?
unless you do shots, it takes time to get into your system. Um, Drugs are illegal in a lot of places, and they also cost money. They're
Except,
expensive.
what is it,
Um,
Montreal? And there's one state that legalized most things.
California and Oregon.
Oregon, that was the other one. Oh.
Portland, Oregon, specifically, has a big drug problem. But that's because people like just spread them around there, and they're basically free.
Well, I've heard
Uh,
Portland has
but
been
yeah,
terrible for years.
yes, um, and even food, it costs money. We need it to live. It's another easy addiction, but it's
Hmm.
eating food is not.
Yes,
It,
everything's all
it,
good.
yeah, you can eat food. That's fine. It's overindulging in food, but porn is so easy. It's like I'm bored, I'm sad, I want a little dopamine squeeze, I want to feel good right now. You just need your phone. And why are you dancing?
Because of the emote.
Oh, okay. Um, I have the stream muted, so I'm talking about some of the worst addictions humans can have, and you're like dancing in the background. um,
No, I don't know what you're talking about. It's much this. Oh, and someone did clip that of you saying that. So
thanks, porn.
yeah. Oh,
That's
you said it
funny.
again, guys.
Um,
So real.
thanks, porn. Uh,
Massive question.
yeah.
Thanks? Question mark.
Um, but yeah, porn is so accessible if you're just the average person. You're bored. You want to wrap up your day. You want to be sleepier. Even you just open your phone and jerk off. It's so easy. It's so accessible, and it feels so harmless. These videos are there
Yeah.
for that purpose, and you're just treating yourself, I guess. But people don't understand that there is, which is why it's such a dangerous addiction, is because it can become so much worse. It can become, I mean, I personally, from my understanding,
Oh,
most your cat is on your bed. Just so you know, I
I
don't know if
saw.
you saw it. Okay. Did
Uh,
you do the the Wojak face for the cat on your bed? Um,
that's gonna be perfect for thumbnails, maybe.
um, it's so yeah, it's so accessible and it feels harmless, but people just what I was gonna say is, um, it's 99% of what gets serial killers. A lot of people kill for sexual gratification
Mm.
because they were now obviously there's other factors like abuse at a young age and exposure to like animal abuse.
The
Um,
actually bring this all the way back to Wendigoon, his serial killer iceberg video opened up a. It didn't really necessarily open it up fully to me, but it just kind of made me realize how much of a connection there is to not only killing and the sexual aspects of it and like the perversions of that, but how much of the when the abuse has been done to you at a young age, how it impacts you and builds you into this person that would do that, that would seek
yeah,
gratification through such horrific methods.
yeah. It
Wait, it gives social security? Porn gives you social security?
gives social security. I'm assuming
Yeah, I
you mean it like ruins your relationships,
yeah,
your security in your social life,
yeah.
not your personal identification.
Wait, it actually just straight up ruins social security. Dang it.
Okay,
I
yeah.
knew I wouldn't be able to retire because of my porn addiction.
Um,
That's awful, dude. You know.
yeah, it's but yeah, it's obviously for me personally, I mean, if I'm being honest, I was 10 when I first saw like, um
Wow.
and I feel extremely blessed and lucky because I feel like at that age that's like life ruining, when if I never stopped, because I did
That
stop
is
around the time I moved, um I just said I'm gonna stop, and I did. I still struggle with the thought of it
wow.
every once in a while as just as a male, but uh it's it, it's a major blessing for me personally that it's something I was able to get because I moved when I was about 13, by the way. Um, it's
You
I
didn't struggle with it that long, or you didn't watch it for that long without making a change then.
um I yeah, I guess I um there were a lot of reasons that before that time I went back to it or whatever because I didn't feel like there was
Mm.
basically I got caught like two times, and my parents are very against it, but they didn't handle it very great. Love my
Mm.
parents, love my parents,
Just
and I
dissing
feel like
them on my
yeah,
live stream. Great.
I'm being honest about it. I
Yeah.
love them with all my heart, and I would say 99% of the time they handle things perfectly. At least from my perspective, obviously I'm biased,
Yeah.
but uh, they did not handle that great. Um, and so when I was a kid, I was like, screw them. I'm gonna continue. But ultimately, I was the one responsible for
Hmm.
ending it. I feel like that goes for most people. You're ultimately responsible for stopping your own habit. You can't blame other people, but I also think as adults we should be doing our best to make sure that stays out of the eyes of
Yeah.
young people because that is that I you know um that's that is responsible for all the Jonah Chromes and blackouts on the internet is when I say
Mm.
blackouts, I'm not talking about the internet going out. I just realized I'm talking about the person
Yeah.
blackout who's in my video. Um, that
For
it's
the use of you that weren't watching the video or haven't watched it, watch his video, his most recent video. Who knows what on YouTube?
Yeah. Well, thank you for advertising my content.
No. It's to 4 people. The video has way more views than that. I don't know how much of an
Uh,
advertisement that is.
um, it just I think that exposure to that at a young age is what creates that. It's and that's again that's why I want to reach out to Marisu, is because he's making content for kids and
Mhm.
his channel's full of softcore pornography, and that's Fania is one of the things I attribute to that addiction for me as when I was a young kid, specifically Marisu.
Hmm.
Was I came across him, and so I have spite for Marisu. I want to talk to him. I want to let him know that his content does that to people.
Mm.
He's not the only one that caused that for me as a young kid, but
Yeah.
um, you know, uh, I didn't know better as a kid. It just exposed me to stuff I did not, you know, want to that I shouldn't have seen. I guess I wanted to see it, but I didn't want to have seen it in the first place. Now that I'm an adult and I know that it's gross and unhealthy. Um,
What
and
is
like you were
cute
saying,
porn?
what
Please explain in further detail than that. But
does softcore porn equal borderline or like cute porn? Softcore porn. When I say softcore porn, when I was referring to Marisu, it means like they're when someone's wearing like a bathing suit, but they're kind of showing off on purpose. Uh, it's like sleazy magazine covers or uh um in like a imagine imagine going to an X-rated video store and you pick up like in the not in the 80s and you're picking up VHS tapes. The posters on the VHS tapes themselves, I would consider softcore porn. It's just people in scantily clad clothing, but there's no actual intercourse taking place. That's
cute
what I would
porn is like
describe.
young. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. It's cute porn. I've never heard of that term.
I've
I'm not
never
gonna.
heard of that term either, and what you're just describing is just hentai. That's just hentai, and
Yes, that's
extremely disturbing hentai at that, because
not cute because that's
young
just
anime characters, a vast majority of anime smut is lolly, and lolly is just a gateway to CP.
yeah.
It's
It's
just a gateway to
basic.
CP.
That is another. That's another problem.
Oh, you made it up. That's why. Okay.
Is
You were
I
just
think a
trying to
lot of
call
people.
hentai without calling it hentai. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's another thing is when it's animated, it can
oh,
disconnect
lolly.
people
Oh,
from.
that's what you're trying. Okay, yeah. Beach episode
Um,
in anime are all peak fiction.
yeah.
The only beach episode in an anime that I thought was at all interesting was none of them.
Um,
I personally am not a fan of much anime anymore because of that. Hentai
it's
isn't
yeah.
isn't just
Isn't the age
children.
of consent in Japan like 13 or something? So they
It
don't,
is pretty young, yeah, but no,
which I think is
isn't it
dumb.
16?
I think it's dumb that people use other countries' age of consent to justify stuff. Like in the video I made where the guy's like, "Oh, age of consent in Germany is so lax." Like that's so stupid. For one, I think it should be 18 everywhere because of developmental
Yeah.
sciences, but also it's stupid that people use that as a defense because when it's online, you gotta default to 18 because I'm pretty sure that's
Nope,
the
it is
law.
13. It's 13 years old.
In Japan, it's 13. That's dumb.
Wow.
Japan, you're so dumb.
Yeah. There's some very interesting statistics as well as to see how radiation has impacted what people view in
Wait,
porn.
seriously? Radiation? Like, are you talking about like the Fat Man and Little Boy that
That,
came out
and
of
also there's for Japan, and then also for Sweden, I
Chernobyl?
think. There's the graph of amounts of radiation, and then they paired it up to the type of like the most searched or most viewed category of porn. It's
Okay, that's
very
kind of fun.
it it's a little interesting. I don't know. I don't want to say it's exactly like true, because I think as with a lot of porn, it is a slope that you'll start out easy and then you just dive bomb and you see some despicable, deplorable stuff as you just
Yeah,
try to find that new high.
that's what I was gonna say early, and that's a great way of describing it, is a new high. You can watch, like I said, it's the problem with people like Marisu showing softcore pornography on their channel, is that when someone who doesn't know better, probably a minor a lot of the time, because he doesn't swear, he's kind of a kids YouTuber, he talks about video games, talks about FNAF, um, that they're gonna see those images and they might like it, so they might watch more of his videos, but then they're gonna want a new high, and they're gonna go on the internet and look for more stuff. They're gonna look for grosser things. It's not gonna go to softcore. It's gonna be hardcore, I guess. But that's a great way of describing it. Is trying to find a new high, and that's what leads to degenerates on the internet. Is
Mm-hmm.
they go for real things, and and the thing with hentai is it's animated. They can draw the proportions however they want. They can draw the situations to be however they want, and set them how make them be however they want. And that's another entire issue, is that they set strange circumstances that can really mess up real life relationships in people's heads. And when you see, I mean, look at Coffin of, what's it called, the new incest game that got a
Oh
positive
yeah.
review.
Oh yeah. I don't even want to. Oh, I thought about looking into that just to see what it's about, and then I realized that's not a good idea, so I didn't.
I saw like
I saw
episode
the
one of
Steam
it.
reviews, and I saw like part of the outrage on Twitter, which is funny
Yeah,
because Twitter's such a mixed bag of reasonable people, and then oh no, these people are just crazies. But
yeah, it's um uh what I was gonna say is that game has overwhelmingly positive reviews on
mhm,
Steam. I
crazy.
watched the first episode for a YouTuber playing it. It was on YouTube, so um, and it is about trigger warning, I guess. I don't think there's anything that could really trigger someone, but it's about two siblings being in quarantine, being trapped. There's some strange virus out there that they need to be locked in for. They don't have like the best blood type, so they're not getting fed as often. And their neighbor's a cultist who summons a demon and gets killed after summoning a demon, and they eat his corpse
It's on your
to
Waz now.
sustain
Don't
themselves.
don't get it. Don't get it.
Don't get it. Uh, they and that's just the opening of it. And some of the reviews are like, the scene, dear reader, the scene where the brother gropes his sister's butt is necessary for the story, and wincest is one of the reviews. uh and I I I I genuinely have no clue, personally, as to why it's so well received. It's cool. It's sure it's a pretty cool art style, and I guess the story's generally interesting. But it's the
I
Vivzy
think it's
Pop.
a
Yeah.
matter of it got
Sorry, I know I
popular.
could rant for a long time, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, I can rant for a long time too. The game, I think, hit that point in the market where it got enough exposure that enough people that weren't just outraged by it decided
Hmm.
to actually check it out because they found it interesting, or like, oh, maybe that would be cool to watch or play. However, is it like a LN? I don't know. And it's just showing a repeatedly degenerate cycle I see on social media, specifically Instagram. Instagram has become really bad, but Instagram, I will just be scrolling through memes, posts, comments on anything. And I mean, Instagram itself is just a cesspool of don't go on there. I can't go on there without seeing the freaking Trevor Wallace podcast where he has a porn star on every single episode, it now feels like. But what I'll just see comments like, my horny ass couldn't have a sister. Like, you have so little
Yeah.
self control, you would And then I was also learning earlier that there's a shocking number of cases of sibling on sibling rape. Just, I don't remember what state it was, but that they're.
That's
Oh yeah,
terrible.
yeah, like that. My horny, my horny ass couldn't own a dog. Please
Oh my gosh.
do not
Yeah,
be that stupid internet woman, which she isn't even that bad. I recently saw a post of a woman fantasizing about being raped by a horse.
oh, wow, that's well, I guess that just proves it doesn't just affect men.
No, no. Well, I think part
I think it disproportionately affects men because I think men are dumb and they want to. I think they're more predisposed to be horny, just to put it
it's
simply.
men
But
are more horny.
I do think it affects women as well. I'm not gonna, I when I say when I'm describing porn, I just say women. I'm not trying to be sexist, but that's just because
Well,
my experience. I didn't watch gay porn.
so the thing with porn though is it's catered to be a male type of fulfillment. Like there's data and science about how the male mind is much like the guy is generally pruning over seeing a girl in a bikini. Girls aren't, I mean, modern day are, but aren't necessarily particularly that enthralled with that. There's plenty of research and information talking about how women are more connected mentally and emotionally to a person, which now isn't as much of a case because of hookup culture and just how everything has been desensitized because of how rampant porn is, which I think main reason why we have such a willingness for hookup culture for such degeneracy is because of it. And then we just get
Yeah.
into the greater elements of how now women are much the same
Yeah.
uh
This.
viewing sex and all this stuff much the same way how men are. Like I am seeing it more and more that women are viewing porn, viewing sex the same way. They're viewing the violent actions that are in BDSM and sex, and viewing that as, oh, I want that, I need that because these people do. The people in the fake sex movies, because
Yeah.
they do it, need it as well. If you watch gay porn, then you will actually think you're gay IRL, but your fantasies are way different than your sexuality. Well, that's also another reason why I think porn and all the sex stuff is leading to such a problem with the transgender movement. That so many people think they're the opposite gender because they have been addicted to porn to such an extent.
I was also gonna say that uh um I I genuinely just had the thought in my head and now I'm forgetting it.
No, that's fair.
Uh
I have personally had a friend tell me that he, for a short while, was thinking he was gay because of some some external circumstances, but mainly because of his addiction to porn. That because of it, it had messed up his view of sexuality. And I myself have struggled with, like, wait, are the internet jokes real or am I actually gay? And obviously, the truth is that when you read the that I've seen and read in the Bible, that it is all just indulging of the lust, indulging of the flesh, becoming more and more rampant in the flesh. You are going to reach new depraved heights. There is a reason why homosexuality is so spoken down on and disavowed in Christianity, is because of how the Bible is abhorrently against it in Old Testament and New Testament. And obviously there are going to be there have been millions of debates on the topic of homosexuality in the Bible and in Christianity, and what's the right way to go about ministering to people that are struggling with that. And I mean, all I can really say is, as a Christian, we are called to love you. We are also not called to condemn you for your life, but to tell you of the life that you can have in Christ, to show you Christ, that you might find a life in Him that will ultimately be more fulfilling than anything you live in the flesh. We are also not to condone such actions because of how abhorrent it is to God. Homosexuality is not something that is viewed lightly by God, because it is in direct retaliation to how we are to live, and such as men and women. We are to only have sexual intimacy with that of the other gender, that of the other sex. Women, men. Anything other than that is deviations, and that's why zoophiles are so disturbing, because that's an extreme deviation. And also just anything that is predatory and homosexual, or just a polycule. No, there's a bunch of it, but Christians that call for death of a homosexual, or death of someone that is living in a sinful lifestyle like that, isn't doing a good job of preaching love, preaching Christ. Brandon muted himself, so Brandon, just unmute yourself whenever you're ready. Hey, welcome back.
I received an audio message. I'm listening to it.
Oh, okay.
Also, I sent you a bunch of reviews for that game.
You did?
I was gonna read them out loud, but I figured that some of them are so bad that I figured I'd just send them to you, and then at your own discretion.
All right, let me read them. Actually, another thing I want to bring up real quick is something that was not you shared. You shared the post of the beach video, or what is it, a picture of from the beach episode of Bleach episode.
Back, sorry.
This type of, like, I understand as partly as a joke and partly as a fun, as you said, Kazuari is cooking or brewing something, but this type of content, this type of sexualization, is not something for myself, I guess, to view lightly. Tight Kubo. Thank you. I knew you said, I don't remember it. But that type of stuff, that type of art and stylization, that type of allure, is something that I myself I try to stay away from, because I know, because of my years of addiction to porn and years of addiction to hentai and years of anime watching, that 2D animation, that type of style of stuff is a area that I struggle with a lot more. And that's why I think it is important to bring up that I do not condone in any sense of sexualization of characters, or just looking at more of sexualized or like risque stuff, because of how it can, if you are trying to escape that lifestyle of just indulging in your own pleasures, it is not conducive to be viewing that. And it is why Instagram is a hellhole for me. It's why Twitter is a hellhole. And it's why I have to be very careful about what videos I watch on YouTube, on Netflix, because of how so ingrained it is in my head. It can cause me to, in a sense, relapse. And that's for myself. That's why I think I've talked about it with some of my friends. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on stream, but I have more or less vowed to never watch anime again. Well, I haven't vowed it because I haven't vowed it, but I haven't watched an anime since Cyberpunk Edgerunners when that came out, and I only watched 2 episodes of it. And that was mainly because I did not want to view more of the sexualization that happens in the Cyberpunk.
I mean, that shows basically as hentai in it, just straight up.
Yeah. But I didn't want to keep watching that because it was only going to lead me down a path of looking at more porn, looking at more hentai, and going back into the sin that I am struggling to get out of.
I gotcha, and that's totally fair.
And that's why I've kind of sworn off anime, which it is extremely difficult because there are a few anime I really want to finish. Black Clover, if it ever comes back, I want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I really I want to watch some more. Like, there are some classic Studio Ghibli movies I want to watch, but most anime I will stay away from because of the allure that it has for my head, for my brain. Gonna catch up with chat really quick. Spooky, you asked if I compared gay people to zoophiles. Yes, I did, in the aspect that they are both viewed as deplorable to God because they are adverse to how he created man and women. God did not create men to copulate with men, and God did not create men to copulate with animals. They are both deplorable to the Lord because they are spitting in the face of his creation and the rightful connection of a man and a woman. That is the only right and correct copulation. What is the best way to not relapse if you don't have self-discipline?
I mean, the only answer to that is don't start in the first place. But I mean, there really is no best way to not relapse other than, I guess,
well, the best way to do it is to have God. Like, I can tell
sorry, I was gonna say real quick. The accountability group is probably the next best thing.
Yeah.
In like a worldly point of view, obviously having God is number one.
Yeah. The number one thing that you can do to not relapse is to have God, but even in that, you will have mess ups. You'll have cases where you're going to slip up, and the problem with having a self-disciplined style to you trying to beat an addiction is, for porn addiction, it doesn't work that well. It may work for a crack or heroin addiction where you just lock yourself in a room. Because theoretically, if you cut ties with like dealers or cut ties with anyone that has provided you with drugs in your life, and then you just lock yourself in a room and you just wait it out, you can be free of it. You have to be very careful because other drugs that are medically used could cause you to relapse. But as long as you're careful and you're upfront about your use and you like remove yourself from the situation that you were in, That takes a lot of self-discipline, but that can be done. What cannot so easily be done is have self-discipline to not act up sexually. Sexual sin is all around us. It's on YouTube, it's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, any website you can kind of go to. It's all around us. Movies, TVs. Some billboards, it's on ads. And you need to be a lot more aware of it. And you honestly have to be fighting at all times. There's the statistic that porn is a drug that's more addictive than heroin, which is just crazy to me.
Yeah, that's
As much as I
more
love,
addictive and more accessible.
yeah. And that's why it is really important when you are trying to fight a porn addiction or a sexual addiction is having a relationship with Jesus. Because
Yeah.
having Jesus, you will have the strength to be able to keep fighting it.
I mean,
And that's honestly the only really way you can do it, because if you're not fighting God or fighting with God, you can't be on the offensive and defensive as at all times. It's not
yeah,
realistically possible. I've burned myself out trying to do that. I've burned myself out. I've gone weeks at a time without messing up, and it just hits a point where I don't know what to do anymore because I haven't put my faith and my trust in anything greater than myself.
yeah,
I've put my faith and trust in myself that's going to die at some point because you're not doing anything greater than yourself. You're not doing anything more than just delaying pleasure that you get out of the porn, the act of masturbation, all that stuff. And then you go out and you're just trying to stop that without having anything greater in your heart or mind.
yeah. Stopping cold turkey is difficult, especially for something so easy and convenient to do.
Yeah. Which is ironic because porn is the one thing you really need to stop cold turkey for. Out of most addictions, you need to stop cold turkey for porn because
Yeah, because with well, I know what I mean, but I get what you're saying in a way because I mean I think there are a lot of things that if you're addicted to drugs, you should probably stop taking all drugs. But I know what you mean because pretty much everything is a pretty much for the let me put it this way: the majority of things are okay as long as they're not in excess. Obviously, you can take medical drugs and
mm-hmm.
in terms of, but you're just taking drugs that damage your body and just keep you from being sober minded, like the Bible says to be. That's not necessarily good for you. Obviously, there's debate to be had there that I'm not. I don't feel like having right now. I'm talking about from a Bible perspective right now,
Mm-hmm.
and you and with alcohol, obviously it's easier it's a lot easier to start drinking more if you have like one drink, as a lot of alcoholics describe, but you don't necessarily have to go cold turkey. If you just feel like you get drunk too often, maybe you should just have one glass every once in a while, but with which is fine. Even in the Bible it's fine to drink, just not in excess. Same with eating, drinking, um, most things, but pretty much the one thing you can't even have a little bit of is, well, I guess the only way to describe it is porn. You can't just watch some kind of porn, but not too much. You know that
Yeah.
you're right. You do have to kind of stop cold turkeys, especially from a biblical perspective, if that's something you want to get over, because you know, it, even though it might be slightly healthier for you, um, to watch less. Obviously it's healthier if you're watching less than more, but it's best for you if you just watch none at all.
Yeah.
There's yeah, no way around that.
Yeah. Was now getting to or mentioning your comment about Eastern animation. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with the medium or the industry over there, but I've seen occasional videos talking about how there have been quite a few cases of mangakas getting busted for viewing child porn or having child porn. And that sort of stuff is obviously despicable and very, very sad to hear. But that's about all I really know about the Eastern animation, aside from the things that I really do not like. Like, I cannot stand lollies because of how it is purposely making a woman that very now maybe this is leading into the CP stuff, but how women that women are depicted in a less mature manner, and it's yeah. I really can't stand it. I get annoyed whenever I see a lolly, but yeah,
Yeah.
I do not know more than just that. Those and most of that is just my own personal opinion.
Well, I will say, luckily, lolly has become less acceptable among the general YouTube audience. I feel like, just from what I've seen, because it's become a lot more aware to most people that if someone likes lolly, it's probably because they just want an excuse to like children, and that's disgusting. So
I think you're looking at a. I think you see a lot less of the actual like weeb YouTube that I've seen.
that's true. I look at a lot less anime YouTube
Yeah, like
stuff. I mean, I
for.
watch anime personally, not a ton, but I do watch anime.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't watch anime YouTube. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, so I don't particularly watch a lot of anime YouTube much anymore because I've been trying to stay away. The one thing that I will occasionally do is watch Trash Taste because I think Trash Taste is entertaining, and I Garnt Giguk I have watched for years because of his anime stuff, and I occasionally watch Connor's streams, and it's just that there's a lot more of like there's that self awareness of, oh well, lollies are just kind of a conduit for you to be attracted. Like they're really 1,000 years old, but they're a conduit for you to be attracted to this type of
Yeah,
a
it's
body. But
it's an excuse,
yeah, it's an excuse. It's just
a bad
I,
one.
I'm not really gonna argue that much about it because I think most
We
of us
both
are in
agree with it.
agreement in this chat.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone disagreeing. Spooky, can you explain what you mean by it is not? Are you saying it's not an abomination for homosexuality? Homosexuality is not being an abomination, or that comparing it to zoophilia? Zoophilia, is that the best way to say that? Is not an apt comparison. I do have to sign off for the night, but I do enjoy these conversations, so I thank you for using your platform to have these important discussions. It's probably late for you as well, so I hope you'll get some well-deserved rest. I'll talk to you soon, Jimbo. Kiss his forehead goodnight. Aw, shucks. Waznow, I hope you have a good night. I will catch you. I'll hopefully catch one of your streams soon. But yeah, thanks for sticking around for so long. I probably if Spooky doesn't respond in like another minute or two, I'll probably end stream simply because it is almost 1 o'clock here for me, and I have to get up in the morning for a meeting I have. And also, Abyss, you should probably go to bed, but I understand staying up late and not wanting to go to bed, especially if you have school in the morning. I often think to myself, oh, it's so late. I should just stay up all night and just go to bed tomorrow. Oh, I have to get up like around 8, 8:30, which isn't that early. It's not that early, but I still have to get up for a meeting. Like if I did not have that meeting, I would easily sleep until like 10 or 11. 6 hours of sleep. Well, that's a you problem that you need to do a better job of going to bed, and I also need to do a good job of not streaming at times that you're, yeah, you might die. No, you shouldn't die from that. All right, let's see. Brandon, did you have anything else?
Um,
Oh, you have an essay you're writing? That's fine. Yeah, go for it. Stay up all night. Drink caffeine. Do it.
well, I just feel like, especially, I mean, look at shows like Hell of a Boss and stuff like that, which not a terrible show. I watched it and it's kind of funny, but it's like, it just totally puts degenerate behavior on a pedestal and kind of treats it as if it's like the norm, which is obviously I'm, kind of pointing out Hell of a Boss because it's one of the worst offenders, but shows have been doing that for decades. I'm not. I mean, like even shows like Friends and The Office. I love those shows, but they totally normalize a lot of behavior that's not, uh, you know, not good for anyone. Um, and I think maybe uh, a more, just for lack of a better term, and more accurate, a more Christian approach to media would be healthy for people. The problem is a lot of people think that Christians they don't watch porn, but they also can't watch rated R movies, and they can't
Mm.
they can't watch scary movies, and they can't see violence, and they can't hear about um, this, people
Yeah.
having sex before marriage. And obviously, while we don't agree with a lot of things that the world does, we can still watch media that has things we don't agree with in them
Yeah. I
and
think
stuff like
a
that. It's just that even at a worldly perspective, that there's a lot of media that kind of normalizes things that we don't agree with, and we're not trying to be the Christians that are wagging our fingers and going, "No, you can't watch that PG-13 movie. They said the F word in that one scene, and that's bad for you." I don't care, but I'm just saying that there are some things that objectively are bad for you, and I do think pornography is one of them, especially. That's all I have to say.
yeah. I just had a thought and I forgot it. Okay, I just forgot it. Wait. Nope, forgot it. Oh no, I do. I remember now. That's one thing that I think Wendigoon has did a fairly good job of with, or has done a fairly good job of making content that appeals to a wide audience while also himself being a Christian and showing that
Mhm.
Christians do like this stuff too. Like he likes horror more than I do, and that's simply because I don't like being scared. I genuinely do not. I will do it for like the views and for the content, but like of my own accord, I don't enjoy watching scary stuff. I much prefer reading about and hearing about scary stuff. Like the videos that Wendigo makes about scary stuff. I much prefer to do that instead of actually playing or watching the scary movies.
I gotcha.
Partly because they're not scary to me unless I'm watching it at 3 in the morning and I turned off all the lights and he's talking about the serial killers and I'm like, I'm not going to sleep tonight. But
Yeah.
the I absolutely love the ideas of the horrors of the unknown, the different aspects. The one video that, or the one thing that I think of is one of the best parts of the Mandela catalog is the one part in the notes of the first few episodes of the one guy of where he's asking simply, "What God have I been praying to?" And
Ooh.
how he is having faith in God, but all the while nothing is helping him, and he ends up being killed by the, oh, I can't remember what killed him. Was it one of the imposters or whatever they're called in the series? yeah, what God have I been praying to all this time? Yeah, that's I wouldn't say it's the scariest line I've ever seen. I think there are some other ones from other series that I've heard. Wait, he killed himself? I thought someone. No, I thought he. An alternate. I thought an alternate killed him.
I haven't seen the Mandela Catalog.
Have you not watched Wendigoon's video on it?
No, but I want to. But I don't know why, but not to call out my sister, but she was like, "You can't watch it. It's so upsetting." And I was like, "Okay," but now I'm like, "I'm gonna," because it's really
So,
good.
oh, the alternate. Okay, I must have missed over that, or maybe it was one of those videos I was watching at 3 in the morning, so I was probably checking over my shoulder for an alternate, and locking my doors. But the Mandela Catalog is dude, there's so many things I want to talk about and make videos on. I'm really annoyed I have a full-time I have two jobs I have to do because I would just spend my entire day talking about these things or writing or making videos on them because there's so many different topics I want to talk about. But what the Mandela Catalog does with that line of what God have I been praying to. That was my first another YouTuber made a video on that and he was talking about that idea of not knowing what is the God you're actually been praying to. Who like because most every religion is faith based. If I think you're right. I think Postra. I think you're right. Oh, my computer's lagging.
Oh, is it that time?
No, it just does this sometimes. I don't know why. I need a new computer. Donate money, please. I'm poor. Don't. Please. Like, it feels so weird to ask, hey, donate money, but at the same time, no, don't actually give me your money. Just watch the videos. But yeah, Posture, I believe, is the channel. But the idea of who have I been praying to?
As Halloween draws near,
Nope.
ECPD.
Hello? What the? No, I didn't want to be playing this video. Okay, everything's just shutting down. Everything's frozen.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
No, my computer was just lagged out. Yeah, the scariest sentence I've ever read by Postra. This video, great video. First one I saw about the Mandela Catalog, but the idea of what God have I been praying to, and I think that's one of the great things about the Mandela Catalog, is that the Mandela Catalog and the Wendigoon, or the different books of the Bible that aren't canon to the Scripture, those are things that I think every Christian should really look at and understand. Because Mandela Catalog takes the Christian faith and changes a few things about it and makes it more or less everything has been a fabrication and a lie made up. Well, in the Mandela universe, it's probable that the Christian faith is not actually the Christian faith that we have, but there are still staples of like Catholicism and Christianity. But the main idea is that Christianity has been a lie since Jesus was born. That Christianity has been not what it is. That Satan won against Jesus. And now we're stuck here in the world that Satan won in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the main basis of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Lucifer to see
Not
some
a fan
people.
of that universe.
Yeah, that universe sounds extremely disturbing, very dark. Very happy I'm in this one where God is victorious. But
Yeah.
that idea of taking the Christian faith and throwing a twist on it. The ideas of the Judas gospel, the ideas of the Thomas gospel, the Mary Magdalene gospel, the different stories discussing Christianity that some are considered historical but not canon to like the Bible. Some are considered heretical, and just the idea of exposing yourself to heretical beliefs and theories and ideas of Christianity, of Judaism, and seeing ultimately how the Bible and Christianity holds up even through it all. I am always remembering this video by a guy talking about the Judas Gospel, the Gospel of Judas, and how it was the final nail in the coffin for him to leave the faith because of how when he learned about it. All right, fine. That makes sense, Abyss. Glad it was fun. I'll catch you in a later one. We can talk more on Discord if we wanted to actually pursue video stuff. But yeah. You have a good night, and I'll catch you later. But that when this guy and this other lady heard about the Judas Gospel, he was already on the fence about his faith. And this other lady that was another Christian said, "Oh, there's a gospel contrary to the Bible. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't want to know anything about it." Because ultimately, it was going to challenge her in her belief in God. And that seems extremely cowardly, to have such little faith in God that you are not willing to hear alternative beliefs or alternative tellings to Jesus, Christianity. And much the same way how we are here on earth to, well, originally we were here to enjoy creation because God wanted other people to enjoy what he can manifest and create. How we can still have that enjoyment here. We can still bring up ideas. We can still debate philosophical comments, thoughts, and ideas that are beyond just, well, God is good, sin is bad, so don't do any of that. But that we can think up and create these ideas of, well, what if our God isn't malevolent? What if he isn't actually God? What if it's all a fraud? Having the backdrop that we know God is real. Having God and having that ability to have utter faith in him, to know that God has you no matter what, allows us to peer into thoughts and ideas that some people will never consider because it's too challenging to their belief in the world. With that, I hope you had a good night, everyone. I certainly enjoyed Lethal Company, and I certainly enjoyed this conversation. Forever let it be known, I titled a stream of, this stream is about, or talking about porn. Let it forever be known. And until next time, I hope you all had a good night. Godspeed. God bless. Peace. Hold up. All right, peace.